If Iguodala joins LA, you think they're the clear-cut favorites to get the chance?
I believe they will. I believe they will be.
You want Andre Iguodala shooting those shots.
You add him to that squad, there ain't nothing to talk about.
The Lakers have made so many moves this offseason with over 10 new players on their roster, and now there is the very real possibility that Andre Iguodala finds his way on the Lakers. But why is that so important, and why does he make them so good? What is up, dudes, dudettes, ballers, players? It's your boy MJ. Whenever I think of Andre Iguodala, I think of two things: the 2015 NBA Finals and the belief that he's never fouled anyone. Never! Yes, as of right now, Iggy is still on the Memphis Grizzlies, but he could get bought out, which would allow the Lakers to claim him off the waivers. There's a lot of belief that Iguodala will make the Lakers the clear favorites to win the championship, even over the Clippers, so I wanted to break all this down. This time, I'm not gonna mention what percentage isn't subscribed. Like Iguodala, I'm gonna act like I never met a viewer who wasn't subscribed, so I won't even say, please subscribe. To understand how Iggy can bring value, let's first look at who he is and what his role would be. Iguodala is statistically coming off of his worst season in his career, averaging 5.7 points, 3.2 assists, and 3.7 rebounds, coming off the bench on a stacked Warriors team for 23.2 minutes a game. Keep in mind that Andre is 35 years old, but his value doesn't come through basic stats. Iguodala is a 6'6" small forward with a 6'11" wingspan that has stopped relying on his athleticism, which made him so exciting to watch in his earlier days with the Sixers and Nuggets. Iguodala was supposed to be a starter when he came to the Warriors, and he was for a time, but when Steve Kerr asked Iggy to transition to the bench when he had started every game in his career, Iggy agreed. That has become the embodiment of Iguodala: selflessness. A guy that will do whatever it takes for the team to win. But just having that mentality isn't enough. You need to be able to actually act on that, and for that, you need to have skill. Iguodala has two main weapons that allows him to be a player that you can just plug in with other players on offense and defense. It's his hand-eye coordination and IQ. Iguodala has to have some of the best hand reflexes in the NBA. He can bother any offensive player with his hands as he constantly adjusts them in the right position. Yeah, that allows him to swipe the ball away and go for steals on the defensive end, as he made clear against Damian Lillard.
Bring that up, he's that type of guy who would.
He also uses his body size to impede the path of the offensive player while annoying them with his hands. His hands allow him to defend the point guard and at times even the center. He also gets these sneaky steals by jumping the passing lanes, or at times like Draymond Green, rushing the guy with the ball and putting pressure. That defensive versatility won't necessarily show up in your important stats, but it does show up in the playoffs when he's tasked to guard the best players on the opposing team. When guarding Kawhi Leonard for 34.5 possessions in the finals, Iggy held him to 37.5% shooting from the field. While guarding Harden, Harden gave up the ball 28% more times than his normal. Those are some of the best offensive players in the league, and Iggy is still bothering them. While that may be what we remember about Iggy, those quick reflexes are also used on the offensive end. A lot of times Iguodala makes the hockey pass or touch pass right after receiving a pass. It's also why he can handle the ball and typically react to defense's openings in a snap. Yeah, he's another ball handler that won't put pressure from an offensive standpoint, but is a guy who can run a play that allows scorers to get into their sets and already be in position for a play instead of wasting time bringing the ball up. But a lot of what Iguodala does is IQ based. He has an understanding of court positioning and where he needs to be on the court to best help his teammates be the most effective. The original death lineup in 2015-2016 was Curry, Klay, Barnes, Iguodala, and Green. Even though Iguodala couldn't consistently shoot well, that was the best offensive lineup in the league. Iguodala on the Warriors has been a career 34% shooter from 3, making timely shots, but just not consistently. He oftentimes joined Draymond Green in doing the dirty work, setting screens, getting rebounds, running a fast break, spacing the floor. Those are all things that Iguodala does because he wants to win, and there's really no way to teach that part of him. And then there's playoffs Iguodala. In 2018, Iguodala had the highest plus and minus in the playoffs out of all the Warriors, including Durant and Curry. Iguodala just plays better in the playoffs. He's counted on more, and we saw in Game 2 of the NBA Finals, Iggy is reliable. Not every player is a fit everywhere they go, and Iguodala was also surrounded by some of the best shooters of all time. So now knowing all of this, knowing that Iguodala is selfless, that he improves in the playoffs, how does he fit with the Lakers? Well, for one, Iggy would come off the bench. He could be playing anywhere from the shooting guard to the power forward depending on who he's in with and depending on who they need to sub, providing a different skill set at each position. At the bare minimum, it gives the Lakers another perimeter defensive stopper besides Avery Bradley. Danny Green is also a good defender, and Anthony Davis is one of the best interior defenders, but apart from that, the Lakers seem to have some defensive liabilities in LeBron, unless he changes that. Kyle Kuzma, and Boogie, who needs to regain his lateral movement. The Lakers have the oldest roster in the NBA right now, and so playing on both offense and defense simply may not be possible due to wear and tear. Iguodala also makes their overall team defense a lot more scary as well. Like I said, he can play multiple positions and can easily switch with anyone. With LeBron playing point, Iggy can also guard the point guard spot, letting LeBron take more of a breather defensively. Iggy can then compensate for rotational mistakes by applying help pressure. I think the defensive boost was pretty obvious, but I'm more interested in what he brings offensively. The Lakers don't need too much more offensively. They have an amazing duo in LeBron Davis, another great pairing in Boogie and Davis, a spark plug like Kyle Kuzma, capable shooters in Danny Green, Caldwell Pope, and Dudley. So what could Iggy bring offensively? He's not a knockdown shooter, he's not super athletic to compensate, but what the Lakers desperately need, and the reason why LeBron is forced to play point guard, are ball handlers and playmakers. Now, ball handling isn't just being able to dribble, because everyone in the NBA can do that. Ball handlers have to be able to bring the ball up with tight defense around them, start plays from the top of the key, or call new ones based off of the defense, and simply give a different look. Iggy can do that in spades. When LeBron or Rondo aren't on the floor, Iguodala can run plays and take advantage of the scoring around him with AD, Kuzma, and Boogie. He also knows how to run a pick and roll, which plays to the strength of a guy like Anthony Davis. Remember that Iguodala played with both JaVale McGee and Cousins. Iggy knows where to throw it up to McGee and how to feed it to Boogie in the post, knowing where both of those guys like to be on the court and where they like the ball. He can be another playmaker that finds the open man on the interior or finds the open man on the three-point line. If the ball is swung to him, he's a capable decision maker that can read and make a quick pass to the open man or create a shot for someone else. With the offensive scoring on this team, you don't need a guy who's looking to take shots. You're looking for a guy who can be effective with or without the ball and without shots, which defines Iggy offensively. On top of that, he would still be doing all the dirty work like setting screens, getting rebounds, moving off ball, spacing the floor. That will add on to those shooters just as he did with Steph and Klay. The last and probably most important thing Iggy brings his team is championship experience. Iggy has been on the biggest stage multiple times. He's performed in the clutch, he's made big shots, made big stops. You can't put a price on that, and he'll bring that to the locker room. The Lakers have assembled a roster that has NBA Finals experience, and LeBron, Green, Cousins, Rondo, McGee, and Iguodala would be an important presence in that. Since Andre Iguodala could be bought out, that means that almost any team in the NBA could potentially acquire Iggy. So the Lakers getting Iggy isn't necessarily meant to add on to their team, but actually take him away from teams like the Clippers and Rockets. Why is that so important? Well, Andre Iguodala has shown in the past to actually bother LeBron on the biggest stage. And since the Lakers have LeBron, they probably don't want to have to go through Iguodala, who could slow down LeBron And they definitely don't want to go through a guy who has shown that in the NBA Finals, he steps up. Sure, Andre Iguodala is getting older, but even just last season at the age of 35, he was still really good in the playoffs. And a lot of those things he does on the defensive end and offensive end don't rely on his athleticism. They rely on his hands and his IQ. So why does he make the Lakers so good? Yes, he's super versatile, but specifically it's his ball handling ability and individual defensive presence that the Lakers need to really round out this team and go head to head with a team like the Clippers, who already have amazing role players everywhere. But what do you think? Will Iguodala land on the Lakers? Do the Lakers need him, or can they win without him? Drop a like for Iguodala's facial expressions, cause they're funny. Y'all been killing it with the support recently, man. Commenting Boogie Davis on my last video, I see you. And if you're still here, comment hands so I know you're a real one. The Instagram shout of the day goes to Matthew, and the all-day notification swat shout goes to the channel OG, Kiara. Thanks for the all-day support. Make sure to bell for all the notifications, and if you're not a sub, hit that subscribe button, join the all-day community for more fire content, all-day support. It's your boy MJ. We out.
Okay, just hop in my spaceship now. Okay, just hop in my spaceship.